Years ago, you lot might have remembered a guy called Derryn Hinch. He ended up with his own Justice Party in Victoria. And he's running again in this federal election. Let me tell you about Derryn. Derryn used to stand up against pedophiles. And he used to try and expose the child abusers, right, to protect the victims. You'd think that was pretty noble, wouldn't you? But here we are in 2022 when Derryn is standing up supporting the cashless debit card. But what he doesn't seem to want to hear or acknowledge, because he just seems to think it's for Indigenous communities only, and how wrong he is that he doesn't want to acknowledge that people on the cashless debit card lose their legal protections in law, their consumer rights, their privacy, and their statutory rights, along with their autonomy. Derryn needs to understand, why should the convicted pedophile sitting in prison have more rights than somebody who's claiming and receiving their legal entitlements under law for their social security payments, no matter what payment they're on? I think there's something wrong upstairs with Derryn, because years ago he used to be the champion for the victim of the abuse. Now he wants to re-abuse those victims, all right? Because, yeah, in my mind, I was a victim of such a crime when I was 12. A horrific crime. And if my perpetrator was alive today, he only went to jail for a few months. You know, he should have gone for years. But it doesn't matter. He got to go in court. He got to get a defence. He got to stand up for himself. And when he went to jail, his privacy was locked right down. I couldn't find out anything about him until after he died, and even then I only found obituaries. I couldn't find out how long he got in jail, anything. Do you know what I mean? Nothing. His privacy was so protected. His consumer rights were protected. His human rights were protected. Yet the cashless debit card removes that from everybody who's forced onto it. Right? That's all stripped away. Receiving Social Security is not a crime. And it's also not anywhere near as bad as the crime of pedophilia on children. But it appears that, you know, criminalising Social Security to justify stripping people's rights, to segregate them from community. Yet we don't do it to convicted pedophiles or murderers or prisoners. Derryn, I don't understand your reasoning, mate. Why do you want to hurt people?